Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jerry, and this is going to be a little different video this Tuesday. Had some things come up this week, and I have not been able to get to the sawmill to get you guys a sawmill video. I'll let you know what happened. If you watched the video last Friday, all the logs coming back to the lumber yard, my son and his co-worker were bringing over with my truck and my trailer. Well, when they were coming back on, I don't remember what day it was. I think it was, well, anyhow, a week from today. The drive shaft let loose. Well, it didn't break. It did break. The double cardan joint broke. Had new U-joints in it, but the ball inside that double cardan joint, the casting broke, and it seized it up out of balance. Went around, boom. It started doing that at 55 miles an hour. Catastrophic results. The bell housing on my transmission completely busted away. There's no bolts holding it on. So today's project, and I'll show you some pictures of it. There's the crack. It goes all the way up and around the bell housing. Let's look at the side. There it is. Wow. I can move it so it's not even attached. So it's going to come out easy, right? I won't take you along with it, but today's project is to pull that transmission out. How unfortunate. I replaced the drive shaft already, and I didn't even realize the transmission was broken. I replaced the drive shaft, and I was moving it around, making sure everything was tight. And I'm like, why is it wiggling? And I look up, and the whole transmission is moving with the transfer case. I'm thinking the same as you. How the hell did you do that? It's not connected to the rear of the motor, so there's a few things I need to look at. I need to look at the rear end, make sure that I'm going to pull the cover plate off the back of the rear end, the differential, make sure there's no metal shavings, nothing went bad in there, make sure there's no play in the bearings. I'm going to go check out the transfer case. Maybe a little JB weld will hold it all together. And I will check out the crankshaft end play, make sure there's nothing wrong with the crankshaft end play. Hopefully the flex plate's still good. But I got it to my buddy's house. He's got more. I got a good set of mechanic tools, but he's got a few more. And so I took it over there. I got it over there yesterday, and I'm gonna head over there this morning, and I'll yank it out. He'll be my helper, or I'll be, we'll both be working on it. Two guys will make this job go a lot better. I think we might even have a third friend come over and help us out. Shouldn't take much to take out the transmission, especially since it's not connected to the motor anymore. The bell housing is completely cracked. So I'm kind of without a truck right now until I get this done. Boy, they don't give transmissions away anymore, do they? It was hard for me to find some transmissions for this truck. So I found a remanufactured transmission, and hopefully that place will work out, and I'll mention who they are once we get it all installed and go from there. Make sure it all works out, and they have the transmission. My plan is to go pick the transmission up Tuesday. So I do have another pickup truck, so I'll be using that in the next week, but it's only a half ton, so I can't really haul logs or anything with it like that. What's up with that bell housing? Isn't there supposed to be more to it? But why are we standing out in front of this beautiful wood stove? I need to put some wood in it. This isn't a gasification stove. This is a 20-year-old central boiler. I bought it brand new in 2004 and installed it. Installed it myself. We're in my wood shed right now. And it's the 5648. It's got 400 gallons of water in it. What I like about this, it's simple. There's no forced air, anything along the lines of that. It will burn about anything. However, dry wood's always better. A lot of people say, I'll throw some green wood in there. Yeah, you can burn it. But when you're burning green wood, obviously you got to heat the wood up. You're losing all that BTUs to heat that wood up. And to drive out that moisture. And that's taken away from BTUs or calories going into your water jacket. So drier the better. Now some of my wood's pretty old, maybe 5-6 years old, because this is a 14 by 24 wood shed. I stack it about 7 feet high, and I leave the walls up. Well, the problem is those walls don't get used. Well, last year I pushed all the walls into the center, and that's what we're burning out, and this wood's pretty light, pretty dry. So we're gonna throw that in there, and we'll go from there. Let me show you where we're at. Last week I mentioned I was burning that slab wood, and it lasted about 5 days. That's exactly what it lasted. I got some more slab wood I have to cut up out there, but I've been busy. This truck is last couple days taking some time for me. Plus it was been muzzle loading season, so we've been hunting. So what do we have up here? Well, I got a mixture. I think that's ash. But mostly I'm running oak in here, because that's pretty much all I have on my property, unless somebody brings over a log. Ooh. Might be kind of hard to tell how much I've burned this year. I'm back in 2 rows. Here's the top, how high I got it on that one. You can see how high they are. I've taken a few out of this row. This one's right to here, this row. So I've burned these 2 rows and several trailer loads of slab wood so far this year. It is December 8th, I believe. So we'll finish this up. Look how quick that dry wood caught. I mean, literally, that's like balsa wood. This nice piece of oak, super light. It's not rotten. It's just lost all its moisture inside. Oh, here comes a couple pieces of pine. A couple pieces of pine here. I had some pine big log that I split up. I'll throw them in. How often do I have to clean this? I clean this about every 2 months. I haven't cleaned it yet this year. I started October 4th. So I'm wrong. It's been 2 months. I'm just above the door, so probably this week I'll get this cleaned out. I mean, that's light. I don't remember the BTU output of this stove. It's pretty substantial. It's rated to boil. It's rated to heat up to 10,000 square feet. Water level right to the safe. My house is 3,100 square feet. My garage I heat, that's another 1,100 square feet. And then you got to consider the whole basement, which is another 2,000 square feet. So that house, you know, we're heating 6,000 square feet. So I do have a little more capacity. It seems to work. Probably if I was closer to 10,000, I would be a little more efficient and cleaner with this, because it does sit idle sometimes. But hey, don't have to burn as much wood. Ooh, that's hot. A little tip about these central boilers, anyhow, if you have one. They have a heat shield on the front. If you build your fire right to the front of the box, and I've done this before, it gets so hot next to the front by the door here that you can warp the door. I've seen guys warp these plates. Now I have a little bend, just a little one right, well, maybe it's pretty flat, right here though. And you will warp this door. And this, it has a lifetime warranty on the insulated door. I doubt I'd ever get a new door for this. If this door failed, I'd have to probably get a new wood stove, because It's 20 years old. I'm waiting for the day it starts leaking. It sounds like 20 years is about what you can expect out of them. Sometimes I think I should just decommission it. Couple things, you're gonna say, well, you're in an enclosed building, aren't you worried about fire? I am. I am concerned about fire. I keep the floor swept. I don't know if you saw me sweep out the front of the door. I make sure no leaves blow in here. Let me show you what the floor looks like. Every time I'm done, I usually make sure I try to sweep this out just in case an ember or something falls in here. Now my door, it's about 8 feet here from the front of the door to the first row. Could a smart jump that far if the door was open? Possibly, sure. But, or if you had a lot of debris on the floor. So I always sweep it up. I just push the debris. I sweep it before I throw the wood in there in case an ember fell into the debris. I don't want to shove it into the wood. And then what I'll do is I'll take all this debris and I'll start loading it up into the wood stove. That's by the end of the year, I've burned up all the bark along with it. More BTUs. So that's kind of how I run this little spot here. I use this little roller table. It's just a cart with wheels on it. I'll haul when the wood pile gets too far back. They'll haul it individually. Either I'll use a wheelbarrow or I just stack it up in here and I throw it in there and then I'll restack it so the next day I have a load ready to go right by the front of the wood stove. It helps if I'm not home or something. My wife has to load it, so that's how it goes. So you can see how big I split my pieces. Some of them are going to be bigger. Like here's a big log right there, but that one's pretty dry. That's not pretty good. This is real dry. I also alternate how I burn each year. I always start in the center here. And one year I'll go north and run out of that bunk. And some years I'll go south. So I alternate. I'll go center north. Next year I'll go center south. That way I'm always getting into the older wood. And what I'll do next year is I will burn all this, all that, and part of this north pile of wood here. And I will get into the rest of that stuff next year, and it'll be nice and dry to start the season. That's like all this wood you see right here today. So that will all get moved into the center. So that's how I rotate it around. So I always have, this is, I've told you these are the walls. This stuff, some of this could be 4 or 5, like this is 4 or 5 years old. This darker stuff that was sticking on the outside. But usually the center wood is 2 years old and pretty darn dry for that central border. So guys, apologize for not having a video out today. I'll take you along for the transmission ride too. And I'll just show some pictures of it. I'm not going to show you how to do it. This isn't a mechanics channel, but I'll just show you some of my angst and struggles. So, all right, let's head over to Hippie Jim's.